and welcome to my channel. I'm Mandi Grace, author of 10 young adult novels so far, 8 of which I'm rewriting this year, probably. I, for the past several years, have been in the habit of reading a book on writing craft or professional development every single month, and now that it's October 25th, I should pick a book for October. Yeah, yeah, here we go. Let's do this. Alright, it's the same stack of books as it always is. Not doing these ones, as I've discussed. Might do that one, probably not right now. So, here we are. I really enjoyed 8 Great Smarts, so I might, continue down the line of random Dr. Cookbooks. Brad Stolberg is going to be in the Hedgie House, my writing group. The leader of my writing group, the founder and coach and wonderful Anya Ray, talks about everything that she learned in the practice of guardianess all the time. We're constantly applying this in the Hedgie House. He's basically like our mascot. So because he is coming at some point, I need to read this book. But I don't know if I want to get into that right now because it's the 25th. I'm thinking a small book. So not those. I've read those too. One of these. Would it be cheating to, because I just did the 8 Great Smarts, but to do it, applying for homeschool? I'm not homeschooling anyone right now, but I am a nanny, so could potentially use this information. Yep, we're doing it. So, I kind of assumed this book was by Dr. Kathy, I want to say Cook. I'm not entirely sure I say her last name correctly, but anyway, I thought it was by Dr. Kathy. It's not. The foreword's by Dr. Kathy. It's actually by one of her students, which is kind of random. I don't know why I didn't realize that, but probably because it's, marketed exactly the same. Okay, I'm in the math section, which is the first chapter where it actually goes into things. And she's discussing how children of each of the 8 smarts would benefit from different ways of learning math, basically. But on the body smart one, she talks about moving, letting your kids move while they're learning. This is, it's so me. Anyway, I was going to read a specific sentence that I highlighted to you and then get back to reading. Yes. This seems counterintuitive, as if the movement would cause distraction, but for body smart kids, movement activates concentration. This is so me. You guys, I was sitting down and reading, because I had been writing on a prickle, and then I stopped writing and started reading, and I was sitting there reading, and I was like, I can't do it. I hopped off the Zoom link so I could walk. I needed to walk while reading. Don't question it. This is just where we're at. Okay, it's almost 7 o'clock at this point. I did some reading, and now I'm going to eat some dinner, because I was very distracted being productive. This happens to me. And then I realized my hands were shaking as I was holding the camera. And then the shaking hands made me sit and actually focus on my body. And I realized that I was starving. My stomach is crying. So yes, we're eating dinner. And then I will jump back into either reading or edits. Not sure which. I'm enjoying the reading right now. We might keep going with it. It's my book of the month situation. Not book of the month. That's a branded thing where you get a book every month. I read a book on writing or professional development or something every single month. That's what I was referring to. Anyway, I'm actually really enjoying it, so I might keep going. But also I have a lot of edits that I need to get through because I'm on chapter 3 right now of, hold on, of 77. Okay, the most fascinating part so far of the, sorry, I was showing you what I was doing, of the language arts section so far. I'm on the Word Smart Kids. No, I'm on the Logic Smart Kids, that's it. Talking about how some kids who are word smart also struggle with spelling and grammar and things like that. And she's discussing that it's because some word smart children are also very logic smart, and the English language is not logical. at all, and that the rules are broken as often as not. So, yeah, no, all of this is making so much sense. I am not logic smart, so while I can appreciate the absurdity of some of the English language and, like, the memes about it, jokes, whatever, like, I find it funny because I see what they're getting at. It's not something that I struggle with. Like, I don't know. I can spell just fine, and I've always been very instinctual with grammar. I couldn't tell you the rules of grammar, but I write well. Generally speaking, my only problem with grammar is that I don't know what to do with commas. But otherwise, it's fine. So, anyway, it's not something that I struggled with, like, personally, because I'm not logic smart. I wasn't sitting there being like, how do you spell this word? I don't understand. Like, not at all. But it's fascinating. Like, it makes so much sense. Anyway, yeah, that's what I have to say about that. It's good to remember that creative writing, composing fictional stories and poems, is not a life skill. Rude. She wasn't, okay, she's not dissing my line of work. She's discussing logic smart children and how they are not creative writers, and she's trying to let teachers and parents understand that that's not a bad thing. But I felt dissed. Because she's like, logic kids aren't good. They're, unless they have other strong smarts in word smart, creative smart, not creative, wow, that's not a smart, picture is what I was going to say. Like, unless they have, like, a unique blend of smarts that lends itself to creative writing, logic smart children don't gravitate toward that, and that's not a bad thing. Like, I understood what she was saying, but that specific sentence just rude. Okay, I'm not artistic per se, so when reading the 8 Great Smarts book, I kind of struggled because I was relating to the picture smart stuff, except for the fact that the examples of picture smart children was about creatively talented and inclined children, which I am not. So I was like relating to the science in the brain part, and then being like, I'm not actually artistic. This doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so I was having a crisis of identity with the picture smart situation when reading 8 Great Smarts. And I still kind of feel weird about it, because I do think I'm very picture smart, but at the same time, I don't draw, or, you know, whatever. So, I don't know what to tell you about that. But anyway, reading the picture smart stuff in relation to language arts, I was like, it me. And I needed to talk about it, because if you watch my 8 Great Smarts video, you'll know that I had this identity crisis, and I don't know what to do with picture smarts, okay? Anyway, yes, for both handwriting and spelling practice, picture smart kids may enjoy using pens with different ink colors. I literally only write this way, unless I don't have my pens with me. I have a variety of, sorry, this is a weird angle. I had to put my arm down, I was tired. I have a variety of gel pens, and it's how I make notes to myself or take notes when in a workshop or what. Like, I need the different colors to help it sink into my brain. Don't question it, it's fine. They also talked about being read to is helpful for picture smart kids, even after they know how to read for themselves. They still benefit from, well, all kids of all ages and all smarts benefit from being read to. Period. But anyway, she was talking about that, and specifically with picture smart kids who think with images, like, talking about how allowing them to see the text and, like, visualize things, but they're not actually the one reading, you know, they're, like, hearing it, but still being able to... Anyway, it was a whole thing, and I was relating to it. That's what I'm getting at. I'm gonna keep going. Sorry, I'm back. It's been literally 2 seconds, but I read another sentence and was like, I am so picture smart. To help them master both phonics and spelling, encourage them to build words on the fridge with colored magnets. I used to do this. Yeah. I don't... Yep. I'm back again. Picture smart kids gravitate toward novels bursting with expressive language and detailed descriptions. In fact, they may be most apt, along with word smart kids, helps that on both, to voluntarily choose old classics. It's me! My hand is still shaking. It's fine. Along with word smart kids, those with a high level of picture smart may also enjoy creative writing. I realize I'm very word smart, which may be the main source of my creative writing obsession, but I genuinely feel like I'm very picture smart. This was not supposed to be about my self-analysis. That was the other book. This is me learning how to teach children, but I'm still learning about myself, you guys. Here we are. We're on Body Smart now, which I'm very body smart. Again, can't dance or, like, move with grace. So you wouldn't think so, but, like, I am very body smart. I think while moving my body. Anyway, the point is, there was something that I related to, so I was going to tell you about it. Where'd it go? Oh, cursive! Writing in cursive instead of normal print. Yeah, she's talking about how body smart kids will learn to write faster and easier if you let them learn cursive first instead of the other thing. Because the flow of cursive puts less strain on the finger muscles while concurrently engaging more arm muscles. And their body smart, so they want to be moving their body. Guys. Anyway, yeah, it resonated, so I'm sharing. Allow your body smart kid to read in odd locations or positions. Guys, I used to hang upside down off the couch. Don't ask me why. It was comfortable. And it's how I learned. Not just with reading, but like, okay, so I was in this thing called Bible Bowl, which is quiz bowl, but instead of math and science and whatever, like, it's just the Bible. And we had these flashcards, because there was these things called keywords. You're getting a whole history lesson. Yes, there's these things called keywords, which is essentially a word that is only used once or twice in the text. The text being whatever 2 or 3 books of the Bible we were studying that year. It became less and less. The text used to be like 2 or 3 books, and then it was always like 40 chapters, and then it was always 28 chapters, and I don't know if they even still do Bible, but anyway, it was getting far too easy by the time I was getting out, and I didn't appreciate it, but that's a different rant altogether. So, yes, the keywords. It was only used once or twice in the entire text, and so we had flashcards, so we could learn the keyword verses. And then when they read the questions, the keyword was in it, and if you heard the keyword, you buzz in and you quote the verse. Okay, so what was I talking about? Why am I talking about Bible? Hold on. There was a point to this. Oh, the odd locations. Yeah, no, I would sit upside down to learn my flashcards, or I would, like, be underneath the table for some reason. Or I would be walking, like, pacing all over the house to learn the flashcard. I could not learn the flashcard sitting down. I had to be moving, or upside down, or doing something stupid. Like, it was... I am ridiculously body smart in the sense of, like, I learn through movement, but I'm not talented. I don't dance. I would not say that I, like, move with any sort of grace or rhythm. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird, because I do the prescribed thing of, like, I think with movement, therefore I am body smart, but also, like, it's not good movement. That's what I'm coming down to. Like, I am body smart, I am picture smart, but I'm not talented with either of those smarts. If that makes sense. I don't know. There you go. Okay, this is interesting. As someone who is not an auditory learner in any fashion, nope, can't do it. Goes through the ears, okay? Goes straight through the head. Just nothing sticks. Anyway, still talking about language arts, but with self-smart children, which I'm not really, like maybe a twinge, but not as much as I expected to be. I am excessively people smart. Anyway, self-smart children with language arts. What was I going to tell you about? Oh, audiobooks. They might prefer learning with audiobooks before and as they are learning to actually read, which I found interesting because I don't think that would have helped me. at all. But there you go. I thought it was interesting. You're gonna get a lot of me in this position as I'm reading, because here we are. Okay, we're talking about science now, and word smart kids. And I just realized in this chapter that she doesn't do the same order. She aligns it with, like, which smart is more aligned with each subject, which I didn't notice at first, because she goes through all 8 smarts. But self-smart was last, or near, maybe not last, but near the end of the language arts, and then it was like the second one on this chapter of science, and I was like, huh? And then I took a look at it and was like, oh, she literally rearranges it every time so that it's, these are the smarts that have an affinity for this subject. These are the smarts that need your help. Anyway, on the word smart. And this isn't specifically related to science, specifically, which, I wasn't super invested in, except for chemistry, which I really loved, which it doesn't really make sense, but, like, it did, okay? I'm not good at math, not super interested in science, but, like, chemistry was perfect. It was just math that made sense. Like, everything lined up. I was like, why is it so good? I don't know. Anyway, yes, I adored chemistry in high school. Because it was just a bunch of straightforward math problems. So, there might be a little bit of logic smart up in here somewhere, but it's not a strength. Anyway, that's not what I turned the camera on to talk about. I didn't specifically have anything science related to talk about at all, but in the science section of Word Smart, she says this. My battery just died before I could find it and read to you what I turned on the camera for in the first place. We're back. Anyway, Word Smart children. They probably won't mind taking multiple choice tests. So true. Responding to essay questions, yeah, or even writing lab reports, sure. It was specifically the test thing that stuck out to me, because, back on the Bible subject, you take a test at every tournament, and that was potentially my favorite part of the entire experience. I loved the test. It was just the best, you guys. Literally the best. That's all I came on here to say. I loved taking tests. Alright, we've moved on to social studies, and I took a quick peek at the top, or like the first, smarts that she discusses, because I've noticed that she switches them up based on what we're talking about. I looked at it because I loved history, civics, you know, things. Like, social studies was my jam. And so I was curious if my strengths were the top, and they literally are. Starting with people smart, word smart. And this is not like a hierarchy, like only these kids with these smarts can learn this. This is a, like, these kids find it easier or more enjoyable to learn this. But also, the other smarts, here's how you can help them. Anyway, the point is people smart, word smart, picture smart, and body smart that are listed first, and like, that's me. Super not important, but I felt the need to tell you. Okay, in the picture smart section, they mentioned that picture smart kids enjoy American Girl movies in, like, learning history or whatever, which is not wildly important, but, like, yes, loved them. Also the books. The books are definitely better, because that's just how life works, but, yep. Alright, I finished this book. Didn't have a whole lot to say on the last few chapters, but I enjoyed it, and I think there was a lot of good stuff in the book. A lot of different ways to consider using the smarts to help children learn the different subjects. I like the way it was broken down with, like, the broad subjects, you know, like the language arts, social studies, whatever, and then in each of those categories, she had every single smart and the different ways that those kids might engage in that specific subject. It was all super helpful stuff. Also made me reminisce about my childhood. Yeah, I don't know how I could currently use it right now necessarily, as a nanny, because I'm not like directly like teaching the children. This is not a homeschool experience. But I am with the children on a daily basis, and we do things together. The 4-year-old is really into spelling right now. She will ask me all the time how to spell words, or she'll just write random letters and be like, "What does XJW say?" And I'm like, that doesn't say anything. Anyway, so there are different ways that we are like doing subjects together, just outside of teaching per se. So I do think I can apply it. And after reading the 8 Great Smarts, I was already like journaling notes on what I think all of the kids are, like what their strengths are. But also a big thing at their age, because the oldest one is 6. They're all very young. Big thing at their age is actually just giving them opportunities to explore all 8 smarts, because that's a good foundation for them, and then it will also like help them discover what their strengths are, because if they're not exposed to things that will awaken all 8 smarts, like they might be very strong in, I don't know, word smarts, but if they never write, they won't know, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, I do think there are ways that I can apply some of this, but I also think a large part of it is not applicable right this minute. I don't know, but like some of it definitely is. Well, I don't know. Anyway, I might do some journaling just to like brainstorm ways that I could help the kids, like with the 4-year-old who wants to spell all the time, or whatever, you know. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what that looks like. I probably won't update you on that adventure, but there you go. This was a good read. I enjoyed it.